Hey everybody, we're live on the Bunderdome with a very special guest star, Timothy Lim on the Bunderdome.
Hi, guys.
Hi guys. Everyone's been wondering where you've been, man.
I've been working. Like, man, 72 pages of Black Ops X Kamen America. I finished it last week, but I didn't finish the lettering until 2 days ago. And then now we're doing the edits, so the corrections and stuff like that. And we have a secret project that I can't tell anyone about, but they'll find out soon.
Yeah, Tim sent me the Black Ops X Kamen America PDF day before yesterday, or was it yesterday, I think. And I read over it 3 times already, and that book looks awesome.
I hope it does.
You worked yourself into a hospital bed doing it. So
it's what's funny about it is that Mark and I are at this point where when he sends me a script and it's good, I don't tell him it's good. I just draw it. And then when I send him the finished stuff, he's not like, this is freaking awesome. He's just like, all right, here are some corrections. That's it. That's how our work process goes now.
Well, there's almost never any corrections. I send Tim the first script, and then he sends me back like whatever few notes he's got. And the notes have been getting fewer and fewer with each script we've done together because we've gotten ourselves down to basically like, I don't know, a well-oiled machine, like a fine-tuned machine. And so when he sends me the PDF, it's literally like, I think on one page you forgot an extra the. And that's like one of the very few like corrections, but otherwise
you missed one, by the way.
I did. Well,
yeah. There's one bit of dialogue where, I can't reveal the character, but a character says, "Oh, it's USAGI," but if you notice, I missed a hyphen.
Oh dear God!
I know.
That's what's going to get us sued with all the other USAGIs out there. Because what was it? You have to have the USA hyphen star hyphen GI,
and it has to be all punctuated with periods.
Yeah, with the periods.
You know who would have caught it? There's 2 people. Number 1 Marmaduke fan and Skinny Matthew Veely. They're really good about checking grammar.
Oh, I know that. Yeah, Marmaduke, because he does those reviews all the time. Yeah, so Skinny too.
Yeah, they would have definitely caught it. So I'm going through with a fine-tooth comb, but I'll have that final draft to you tomorrow, I think.
Awesome. I mean, so for everybody out there who's been excited for Black Ops X Kamen America, it's going to be really good. We've got, I don't know, every volume we do just gets, I think it's up better than the last one that we did. So everybody reading Kamen America 3 right now. Kamen America 3 is crap. What you want is Black Ops X Kamen America. By the way, Kamen America Volume 3 is now available on Indiegogo.
That's right.
I'm going to post the link in the chat, but it's also down in the description. And I see we've also got Matt Reese in the chat. What's up, Matt?
What's up, Matt? Matt, I need to ask him, did you see the twist in Kamen America 3 coming or not? Because I think there was only one person who did and told us about it, and I think it was Robert Willing. I think he put it together.
Is he the one who told us way back when Volume 1 came out?
He told us in Volume 2.
In Volume 2, okay.
Yeah, we were on a stream with him.
Oh, sup, Bianca and Thomas Roylup. So,
hello.
Real quick. Hello, guys. so real quick, we've had some questions today on how to use the add-ons on Kamen America 3 on Indiegogo.
And I don't mean to be rude, but
don't be rude.
That I've gotten that question at least 6 times today, and it's in the description of the main campaign. So I get it. Some people are eager beavers and they don't read it.
Well, it's also that the add-ons we have the same thing going on with Kickstarter, is that the add-on system is brand new. And so people who like do a lot of Indiegogos and Kickstarters just haven't gotten used to it yet. So one of the things we had with Kickstarter, and this is an important one. So the way these things used to be done on Kickstarter and Indiegogo is that you had a list of tiers, and each tier was a different combination of all the items you had for sale, and there could be like 50 different combos. It was actually really inefficient. What add-ons fixes about that is you select the baseline tier that you want, and then you hit next, you hit the button that takes you to the next screen. And on the next screen, you have a list of a la carte options for little add-ons, bonus things you can include in your order. It's almost like ordering the side to go with your main course when you're like at a fast food restaurant. Like, yeah, I'll have a Big Mac and a side of fries, or a Big Mac and a side of nuggets, or something like that. It's a little add-on that you have. But we had a lot of people on the Kickstarter who didn't see the add-ons because it's on the second page and they just went straight to checkout. And we have a lot of people who live in the US who tried to order the international tier and they had their orders rejected because the international tier is specifically for UK, Canada, Australia, and Japan. But they selected the international tier because that was the tier that they saw that said Kamen America 1, 2, and 3. If you are living in the US and you want reprints of Kamen America 1 and 2 with your copy of Kamen America 3, those are available in the add-on section. So I'm going to share screen real quick and show you how to do that. I also have written instructions in the description, but I'm just going to show you real quick because it's really easy.
Pull down your naughty tabs. No one wants to see those.
Maybe I want them to see those.
Ooh. What's taking you so long?
I have to click like 5 buttons to get to share screen.
Okay. There we go.
Okay, share on the screen. All right, so Kamen America 3 campaign on Indiegogo. Let me go ahead and update. Ooh.
Oh, we got a backer. Thank you.
Yeah, awesome. Thank you, everybody. All 266 people so far. We appreciate it. So, all right, real quick. So you go down and same as always, select your perk or your tier. Let's say you want the Volume 3 graphic novel, just the baseline one, $10. You just click on that, and then you click Get This Perk. It takes you to the next screen, and this is where the add-ons are. You have to scroll down a little bit, and that's how people are missing it, is because the add-ons are a little bit to the bottom, and you have to scroll down. But when you go down to the add-ons, you can add the hardcover reprints of 1 and 2, or the Velvet Thunder CD. Add perk, and then continue the payment. Added, see, and then add, continue to payment, add. And you just add everything on there. And then you go proceed to checkout, and then you check out the way you always do.
Now type in your credit card number.
Yeah, I'm going to do that right now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. No, I'm going to do that. But yes, that's okay. So I'll show that one more time real quick. It's as simple as.
And by the way, if you even try doing the international one, it's not going to let you add perks on.
Yes, that's one thing that. So the international one does not have perks. I guess I'll show you that real quick. So if you're Australia, Canada, the UK, or Japan, you can order the international tier. But the international tier is the only one you can order if you're outside the US. You click on that, and then you hit Get This Perk. And it takes you straight to checkout. It skips the add-ons because we're not doing the add-ons for international. It's just the one size fits all. But for international, the one size fits all is the digital volume 3 and then hardcovers of 1, 2, and 3.
And it comes with the digital of 2 and 1 also.
Oh, yep. So you get digitals of all 3 volumes and hardcovers of all 3 volumes. So the international tier has everything in it. You wouldn't need anything else anyway. But if you're a US customer, just click the tier that you want, Volume 3 graphic novel, Get This Perk. On the following page, just scroll down to add-ons, hit Add Perk, and then continue to payment for whatever perks you want, including the hardcover reprints of 1 and 2, and then proceed to checkout. And that's it. That's all you got to do. Okay.
Easy peasy. Lemon squeezy.
Stop sharing.
Yeah.
All right.
That's all there is to that. Let's say hello to people in the chat. Matthew Reese says, I did not see the weirdly ironic twist coming. I'm really happy that you didn't. So he actually messaged me and asked if that was something we planned from the beginning, and the answer is yes. So at some point after Volume 3 has been sent out, we're probably going to do a stream where we actually point out all the clues that we put out from Volume 1 to Volume 3. But you can read through them with that in mind, and you can probably pick up on them on your own.
We're gonna do a smug stream where we brag about how smart we were.
I don't think it's us necessarily being smug, but it was deliberate. That's for sure. Rebel Comics, Niobe, what's up? What's the word? A word up, word up. It's the code word. No matter
where you say it, you know that you'll be heard. Yes.
Now word up. That's the code word. Tony S says, "Hey Tim, Mark, and the rest. Hello, hello." International in the house. Yeah, so we are actually sending to Canada. The reason we chose those 4 countries is based on digital downloads. Those were the 4 most popular. Germany is number 5. So in future campaigns, depending on how successful and how easy this is or not easy, Germany will actually be added to the list. But I had a lot of people messaging us about that as well. Aaron Louvier says, I already backed Volume 3 on Kickstarter. Is there any way to just get the hardcovers for 1 and 2? Or do I have to buy Volume 3 again to add them on? You have to get Volume 3 to add them on. For Volume 3 on Kickstarter, they were available as add-ons. So unfortunately, that's the only way to go around it. I wish we could make an exception to that, but the flood of messages that we get for special exceptions is so much that we're going to overwhelm fulfillment. And then wires are going to get crossed and people's orders are going to get mixed up. It's already kind of difficult as it is because, for example, the lenticular posters, those have to go out separately. There is no shipping container that is big enough to handle everything without charging a really exorbitant fee for them. And so that's why, unfortunately, if you want to get 1 and 2, you have to back it on 3. Or your other option is you can wait till we go on Iconic Comics. We will have probably a surplus of about 20 to 50 books, but it is going to be more expensive. That's the deal we work out with them. And we try to make it so that if you want the book at the best price possible, you'll back one of the 2 campaigns, because then you get a hardcover book for $10 plus $5 shipping. Whereas I think Iconic might charge anywhere between 15 to 20 on the second run of it. So that's your other option that you can have. Nick Sonata, where did find the people?
Oh, he's a little further up. He's just under Thomas Royal up, saying it's as easy as clicking a button, and it's so simple a caveman could do. Yeah, and then Nick Sonata, 12K already. Congrats, thank you, Nick.
Oh, we are? That's awesome. That's cool.
Yeah, we are. Let me go.
I wasn't paying attention. I just saw that. I saw the last 2 digits increase, and I was like, "Yeah, that's cool." Dan Albu said, "Just watch Godzilla versus Kong." I just saw it in IMAX. It was great. I loved it. No spoilers. It was awesome. 10 out of 10. It's so funny that before political wokeness was a thing, you know, you could watch a movie and not have to look at an agenda. And this movie is just a giant monkey and a giant lizard beating the crap out of each other. It's great.
My ticket's for 4 o'clock on Saturday, so I got to wait and try to hide from spoilers until then.
I hid all day from spoilers without a problem. I don't think it'll be an issue. But it was awesome. Dr. O, I'm just waiting for my tracking number for the poster. So the majority of them went out today, but not all of them. So I do apologize for that. I was told tonight that all of them should be mailed by the end of the week. If they are not, I will notify everyone and even include the customer service email. But if you're curious, you can just go to info. You can email them at info@iconiccomics.com. But like I said, I did hear that the vast majority of them did go out, but there are still a few that still need to go out tomorrow and if maybe Friday, but those are on their way. Romancer X says, hold on, it's like skipping around on my end. I didn't see the twist either. I really liked it. Thank you. Full Custom Hot Dog is here. Howdy, gangstas. And Pepper Talk says, can't wait for my Kickstarter Kamen America 3 to come in. You guys are doing a great job. Thank you very much. We're trying new things is what it boils down to. Obviously, those of you who know Douglas Ernst, you can listen to that stream I did with him. We make business decisions that we just want to test and see how they run and operate. And one thing, just in a nutshell, that we wanted to test was, in a worst case scenario, something happens and we're deplatformed from Kickstarter or Indiegogo. What do you do next? We have to have a backup plan. So we wanted to test the viability and feasibility of using our own storefront. And by the way, I do not own Iconic Comics. They're friends of ours, but we have no business dealings with them. I actually don't get any royalty from any sales that they do on their website. That's part of the agreement that we have. So it is theirs. And because of that, we have the opportunity to try things with them. And so Doug, he did not go the crowdfunding route because he wanted to test its viability. And for those of you who did not get that update, is doing spectacular. On the first day, I think he beat his Indiegogo total by 33%, and the momentum has not stopped. So I think at my last count, he is either, and this was on Monday, he is either over 400 or approaching 500. So he's somewhere in that kind of nebulous region. So he's already made about 55 to 65% of his funding goal from how it was in Indiegogo. So as far as the viability of the platform is concerned, I think we've tested it and it is good. Downside is that people are like, well, we can't see the money generated. Well, Doug can, and it's pretty good. So,
well, what you are seeing though is pretty much if you go on to Twitter and you type in Soul Finder, you're going to just see a ton of tweets. I've been seeing them filling up my timeline all week of just people posting photos that they got their Soul Finder in today because they've been shipping out so fast. And you can see all the grassroots, word of mouth, all the people getting their packages almost as soon as they've ordered them. So you can see the feedback immediately.
It's pretty great, and you don't have to wait. Now, there was some criticism because it was like, well, you don't have the hype train going, and so your sales aren't going to be as good. But here's the funny thing is, I think like what some people did not anticipate is that it's what you just said. People see that they don't have to wait. Like there is no risk because you pay them, you pay Iconics, you do an online order, and your book is shipped within 4 to 7 days. And so that hype train is kind of moving on its own momentum because people are posting about it and saying, no, this is legit. You get the book pretty much immediately. And I think on Friday of last week, they had already fulfilled every order that came in on Tuesday. So they work very fast and they work very much around the clock. And I'm throwing a wrench into things because obviously I have my own fulfillment I need to do. But for the time being, I mean, it's moving pretty quickly. Dan Albu says figures. So I like doing the statues, but holy cow, they're expensive. I am looking at doing, we are looking at doing a mass production of other statues, but that's going to take a little bit more research. This was more of an experimental thing. People seem to dig it.
Well, the two we had today sold out in the first, I think, like minute, 2 minutes. Like
yeah.
People were on the trigger there waiting for that 10 a.m. open of the pre-orders.
Yeah, it was crazy. And those people are going to get a really nice box of goodies because obviously the manufacturing of those statues was expensive. And so we try to throw in everything in the kitchen sink in them to just say thank you to the people who backed at that level. That was a real help. Tygia527 says, can Mark outsmug Sylvia and will he? Oh
yeah, do that. Yeah, with the hand over my mouth. I'll practice. I am blonde, so maybe I can.
Yeah, exactly. Romancer X.
Greetings, Earthlings. But yeah, go on. Sorry.
Romancer X. I just backed to Indiegogo and got a bunch of add-ons. Thank you very much. Really appreciate it. Those ones are fun. That lenticular poster, mwah, perfection. It's great. Looks really, really good. Hi, Gotham Knight. It's been a long time since I've seen you around. Rebel Comics. You sure Sergeant Ball won't find it? Nah, brother. No one goes in there. So did you read it yet? You are pivotal. You guys hid a stash of hooch that is used later on. That's all I'll say for people who
That's all we'll say, but yes, thank you, Niobe, for being the plot device we needed when we needed it.
Exactly. ArtMark88, he has really good art, and I think he's available for commissions. Hello, I have to go back to work soon, but congrats on hitting 12K in Indiegogo. Thank you very much.
Oh, I got to watch really Gridman. He keeps reminding me to watch Gridman. I got to get to that.
Yeah, SS Gridman by Trigger. Didn't Trigger just acquired all the Gynex properties?
Oh, they did? You see, I always got them mixed up because a bunch of the Gynax people founded Trigger, like they moved and created Trigger, but Trigger inherited what was that? The Gynax one, the guy with the pointy sunglasses that I still haven't watched yet.
Gurren Lagann.
Gurren Lagann, that's it. Yeah.
Yeah. The chat's like going faster than I can keep up.
Dr. O, thank you. We're not amazing. We're actually just adequate. But somehow, in today's standards, adequate seems to be very pleasing.
We're two really stupid guys who just try a bunch of stuff. Nick Sonata, also RIP Doug T's channel, Stupid Politics.
Yeah, I saw him post that today. It was both his channels too.
always try to find, you know, but he does have a point. I mean, I think people will argue the politics of it regarding the platform, and you kind of know what you're getting into. Like, there's always that possibility that you'll get struck, which is why we try to find other things that we can use. Even like my browser, I don't even use like Google Chrome anymore. I switched to Brave. And you can find us on Minds too. If you guys are on Minds, I like Minds a lot. It's kind of like a hybrid between Twitter and Facebook, but I'm on Minds, on MeWe. Try not to give some of these major corporations a lot of the traffic that they want, because it's just freaking annoying.
Yeah, if you haven't checked out Minds, I have accounts on all those other social media ones. I just made my accounts when they first opened up, but the only one I use besides Twitter right now is Minds, and I'm trying to use it more and more because Minds is actually pretty cool with that token system it's got, where they basically pay you in like a cryptocurrency that apparently it has an actual dollar value to it. And you can use the tokens to boost your posts. So basically, you don't have to pay out of pocket to advertise and to promote. Just the more you use Minds and reply to people and comment and retweets and post, the more tokens you earn, and then you can use those to promote. You know, if you have something like we do, where we're promoting one of our books, it's a really cool system.
Eva Unit has 2 questions. I'll just combine them. It says, what about international shipping? When are you going to expand your international shipping destinations? We are offering international shipping right now to the UK, Japan, Australia, and Canada. We will expand it depending on how successful it is right now. International shipping is hard. 1, it's really expensive. 2, you have to insure everything. And the shipping rate changes day by day. So what we have right now is just an estimate based on the current figures that we have, plus the labor that's involved with it. If we get a certain percentage of returns or people who say, oh, I didn't get my package, because so from our point of view, from a customer service point of view, that is the one thing I really hate getting. And not because it's annoying, but because it's scary when someone says, hey, where's my package? And the reason why is because we already know what's going to happen next. We have tracking numbers for everything. So in cases where it says like package never arrived, we send one back out, because in our minds, it's like, okay, it's stuck in transit or stuck in limbo. We don't know where it is. But the ones that are really tough are the ones that say delivered, because then what do? It becomes the word of a customer against ours that it was not, it was not delivered satisfactorily. But on the other hand, that's why we mail out tracking numbers and we tell people. They get annoyed, but on the updates, we say your tracking number should be out because this is the last package that we sent, which means every package sent so far has a tracking number. So we feel that there is a customer responsibility to monitor that. Now, that's on the US side. What happens when you're dealing with someone in a country like the UK and they say, hey, it's been 3 months, where's my package? And believe it or not, we get those messages a lot. I got a message just this morning from Kamen America Volume 1 saying, has this book gone out yet? I'm just thinking, that book went out in March of last year. You can actually read the updates saying that the book went out. I mean, I honestly don't know how to respond to it in a way that can kind of express what I'm thinking, because it's like, okay, yes, your book came out. Tracking numbers expire after 3 months. After 3 months, we can no longer track it. We can only say, here was your tracking number. So depending on how this goes, if it's smooth, if we get the majority of them sent, we will expand international shipping. But we have to see how they make it to their destination before we try it again, because the gamble is too much to absorb if it doesn't work out properly. International shipping is probably it's a death blow to a lot of crowdfunding campaigns, because they're not prepared to absorb the cost in case something goes wrong.
Even Doug T was saying that his YouTube channel, before it got nuked, the profits he made from that, he used to cut the loss on international shipping. So even his international shipping was basically, it was costing more to ship internationally than what he was earning from selling the book.
Yeah. Tyga says, how do you feel about the audience growth? I think it's good. We beat our audience growth on Kickstarter for sure. And we beat the funds raise, which we're grateful for, but it's the audience growth that we like. I can't announce it yet. Mark knows what we're doing, but we're doing something here in the next 3 weeks that will hopefully expand our audience growth tremendously. There's a handful of people who kind of know what we're doing, but we're still keeping it a pseudo secret so that it can be a surprise to a lot of people who don't know what we're doing yet. Danelle Boost says, I'm trying to make a 3D model kit for Kamen America. Dude, we'd love to see it. Make sure to tag us on Twitter. I think I saw something that you were working on, but I wasn't quite sure. But yeah, we'd love to see it. We like seeing readers doing things on their own, like making art and things of a 3D nature. And I've reached out to pretty much everyone and said, hey, if you want to be published in our book, just give us permission and we'll be more than happy to do it. So
I don't know if he's watching, but Jojo Brito did some great art recently. He did that Dragon Quest Kamen America one that I absolutely loved, and he did another one right after that. They were both great.
Yeah. And I asked him, hey, you wanna have these in the book? And he's like, you can have it. I'd be honored. And I said, no, the honor is mine. That's really cool. He has that kind of
Toriyama style, yeah,
which is really cool. Dave's art. Had Carly been any slower flying to Turkmenistan in Volume 1, could she have died drowning? Loved your read, but that has troubled me since. In theory, if she flew slower and she crashed in the ocean, yes, she could have drowned.
It was dumb luck. It was blonde luck that she managed to get there in under 3 hours. If it had taken more than 3 hours, yeah, she would have crashed and drowned.
Yeah. Thomas Royloop says crowdfunding is kind of a messed up business model. You guys made it work pretty well, but as a store can be very weird. No, I completely agree. It's because it's this weird nebulous space where it reminds me of like ghost hunting, where you use a thermometer and you're like, it got cold. That's why there's the presence of ghosts. It's like, well, that's not what it was intended for. Like, that's not what it was designed for, but okay, you can use it for whatever purpose you see fit. And the entire purpose of crowdfunding, I might be completely wrong on this, but the way I always understood it was people who have a startup project, but they don't have the capital to fund it. And so you go into crowdfunding so you can generate the capital. Now, that was true for us about 2 or 3 years ago. That was absolutely true, because it was like, we don't know who our audience is. We don't want to invest in something that we don't feel like we might not be able to recoup our costs on. So let's try it. And I always have believed that you use crowdfunding as a very viable source of generating a capital, but then you have to decide what to do with it. And that's why since then we've been expanding that, obviously working with Iconic Comics, Doug experimenting with the Soul Finder direct-to-market approach. This is what we're thinking of. Ideally, here's what we would like to do. We would like it if we could open pre-orders on our website and have a counter showing how many people are backing it. That will give us the information that we need to order the books through a pre-order method and then deliver once they arrive. And then after the pre-order is done, we increase the price of the books so that people who got in early on the pre-order will obviously get a discount. So that's the next thing that we want to do. But obviously we're going to need some programming to help with that. There's only so much that like a Wix or a Shopify can do as far as that's concerned. Are you still there, Mark?
Yeah, no, I'm looking at the chat real quick.
Let's see.
Tony S says, "We beat our audience." Signed, Tim Lim, serial customer.
Yeah, just take that out of context. Let's see here. Cheyenne says Carly can't drown. Her boobs would be flotation devices. I actually don't know what her cup size is. I know it's bigger on the covers than it is in the book. Romancer X says, you don't have to give spoilers, but is the continuation of this book in the Black Ops crossover in Kamen America 4? So here's the timeline of events if you want to read everything in sequence. It's Black Ops 1, Black Ops Volume 2, Kamen America Volume 1, Black Ops Volume 3, which explains, spoiler alert, it explains how Misha got extracted to the United States, and then Kamen America 2, and then Kamen America 3, and then the Black Ops X Kamen America. That's actually Volume 4. So whenever you get your copy of the book, which should be going live next month, you'll actually see on the spine, it's actually called Black Ops Volume 4, even though the subtitle is Black Ops X Kamen America. It does follow the events of the third volume of Kamen America, but in case we try to write our book so that if you don't read one title, you're not going to be completely out of the dark. So if you actually pick up KA3 and then KA4 without reading a crossover, you won't be lost. It will kind of course correct itself in a way that readers who just pick up one title will know what's going on.
Yeah, it's just for the readers who pick up both books. They get a little something extra. They get some extra context, or they get a little bonus of continuity. But for folks who are like just invested in Kamen America and aren't reading Black Ops at all, not even the big crossover, yeah, you can read just all the volumes of Kamen America 1, 2, 3, 4 in sequence, and you'll never be lost in feeling like, whoa, did I just miss something huge and I have no idea what's going on? You're never going to be completely left in the dark. You're never going to be completely confused and bewildered. But we do recommend that if you like one, hopefully you would like the other, because they're made by the same team of Tim and myself. So they have the same art style and the same sense of humor and the same sense of action. So give it a shot.
It's a little bit more violent in Black Ops because it's a military fiction. So a lot more people die in it. So if you want to up it from PG to PG-13, that's the book that you read.
The cute animal book is ironically the one that's more violent and more intense.
Let's see here. The Pepper Talk says, in my acting class, I have a friend who has a big interest in comics. I gave him one of my extra copies. I'm trying to spread the word. Thank you very much. You'll have to let us know how they like it. I hope they like it. Okay. That's kind of our flagship title. So we obviously like hearing the feedback on it. Eva Unit, who handled shipping on Trump Space Force. I recall I didn't get charged to get it shipped to New Zealand. That was Antarctic Press. That one was kind of our seed capital book. Chuck Dixon was on it. Actually, a lot of A-listers were on it. So they were the driving force behind the sales. That was a $25 book. I actually used my share of that because I was the artist to fund all of this. So I think on Walmart, I forgot if it was the same price or cheaper. I want to say it was cheaper. I think it was $15 because I basically used it as seed capital. And obviously with Kamen, we've been really happy that we've reduced our prices to $10. So people who have backed us from the beginning have seen our prices go down and they've seen the quality increase. So obviously we hope we can keep that coming. If we can get to like 5,000 backers, I mean, crap, I'll reduce the price of those books to $7. Like, that's not going to be a problem. Well, I say that. Obviously, we have to keep into account the fact that hardcover printing is a little bit more expensive, but we try to work out deals with our printer to try and get the best price possible.
Hi, Ethereal Dragon. Let's see. It
says hi.
I'm just seeing if there's anybody new in here. Bullet Ninja Hagelman, Context Matters. Just some folks we haven't said hi to yet. Mercy Buckets, yeah. Plasmophobia Player. Yeah, the thing does keep jumping around every time I scroll through it. Let's see. Carly is not hydrodynamic.
She actually
Carly swim.
Okay. She only played a couple of sports in high school. One of them was swimming, and the other one was actually it's not a sport. Never mind. So it wasn't in high school. But her only thing that she does nowadays is like yoga. That's it. She's actually really physically unfit.
You just want to draw her in yoga pants.
Well, there was that one scene at the end of Volume 3 where they're like running to the hangar and she is just like, holy cow, like my lung is about to give out.
Now, it's not a spoiler because you already posted the panel as a preview image, but she is on a treadmill at the start of Black Ops X Kamen America. So, hey, continuity.
And she's only been on it for like 30 seconds.
Yeah, she's like, oh, God.
It's horrible. I need to quit eating Cheetos. And then Eva Unit again says, is Manga Demon non-canon to Kamen America and Black Ops? It is, how do we describe it? It is canon if you want it to be canon, but because it's a satire and a farce by nature, you don't have to perceive it that way. You don't have to have read it to
it's
understand
optional canon. I'd say it's if you've read it and you liked it, then it's canon. If you have no interest in it, then it doesn't have to be canon. You're not going to lose any context or miss anything. The Black Ops and Kamen America books are fairly intertwined, but you can read them separately. The Walmart trilogy is kind of off in its own thing. It did intersect with Walmart 2, but the canon of it is fairly unobtrusive and distant. And so if people don't want to acknowledge the Walmart trilogy, then they're not missing anything. They'll be fine.
Thomas Royloop says all of the Kamen America books are nice and easy to read and have good stories. But yeah, we try to keep them entertaining. I mean, it's not high art or anything like that. My art is fairly cartoony and plebeian. I think Mark's writing is really good, but
thank you. I think your art is I think
serviceable.
It's super serviceable.
He's not trying to be Alan Moore, and I'm not trying to be. I don't know who I'm not trying to be. Some really good artists that you can name. It's kind of like, can we just give you just a solidly crafted book where you don't feel like you wasted your money? Is essentially
we want the books to be entertaining and not pretentious. And if you're trying to create, usually like writers, if they're trying to create literature, and cartoonists, if they're trying to create art, that's usually when they end up creating something really pretentious.
Yeah, and don't get me wrong. I mean, we do have morals and overarching themes that we put in it, but again, it's not. I don't know. Like what Mark said, we try not to be pretentious. And on the other hand, we try not to be hitting the nail on the head. It's kind of like when you watch a cartoon as a kid, and you just know, oh, the moral of the story was don't do drugs. Oh, the moral of the story is be nice to people. That's essentially kind of what it is. But we have gotten a lot of feedback from people who really like it. And honestly, I think a lot of it is just because with kind of a hyper politicized environment that we're in, it's rare to see things that are just formulaic in nature. And so maybe we benefit a lot from the relative nature of what we make. So, I mean, don't get me wrong, I'm happy, but still. Pepper Talk, Insanity, you guys lower your prices with hardcovers. DC floppies can run up to $6.99 and $7.99. Our prices are basically just to offset the cost of printing the book, really. And I mean, it is a really good deal because our books are at least 64 pages. So you get, basically, it's like 2 floppies combined. But we have our printer to thank for that. It was a lot of negotiation, a lot of back and forth, but we got it down to a price point where basically we were like, look, based on our numbers, this is how much we're generating in terms of items ordered, like quantity per year. And I think in the long run, by cutting us a deal, you're guaranteed to be making that much just on the printing alone. And I think that was a huge help, not to mention the number of referrals that we got them. And I do have Doug Tenable to thank for that because he was one of the people who introduced us to the printers. So I don't want to leave him out. He's also the guy who gave us the idea for the boxes too. Yeah. So, I mean, we don't hide the fact that we learn a lot of our trade from him because to us, he's kind of the gold standard as far as the printing is concerned and quality.
We watch him from the bushes with a notepad and a pencil, and we're always copying everything he does.
Yeah, exactly. I think Honk Black Ops is the best book, and I love all your stuff, but the animals bring it up a notch. We like Black Ops as well. I mean, we like the animal stuff. It's considered the hard sell, though. There's some people who don't like it based on the premise, but it's kind of like just as the Ninja Turtles, when it came out, on its face, it sounds really kind of stupid. It takes itself seriously. We try to do the same thing with the Black Ops books and make it in a way that, at least for the time you're reading it, you can suspend your disbelief.
Well, thank you, Neostar. We appreciate it.
Thank you. 2 floppies combined. Yep, that's Tim and Mark in a nutshell. That is correct. Or 2 floppies combined. I think that was also a Peanut reference, but that's okay. We'll run with it. Lotus Petal, I received my Kamen America Volume 3 box today, which automatically makes it a great day. Well, that's wonderful. Those are slow to go out. I made this update about how the printer made an error, a very significant error. And so it was like, no, you have got to reprint all of these in the larger batch. But the smaller batch that came in, about 400 of them, those are the ones that we have already sent out. So you're lucky if you got one of them. So that means that you're a little bit early compared to everyone else. And we hope the books were shipped to us today. So it's about a 2-day transit. So our hope is that all next week and the week after, we'll get the remaining books out. So thank you for telling us that you got yours. We're happy to see people starting to receive theirs. Matthew Reese says, Marmot Maiden and Wall might both appear in Kamen America. Marmot Maiden is an Easter egg in Volume 3, if you're looking carefully. Wall might appears as an Easter egg in Volume 1. So for people who are astute, keep an eye out for that. Also keep an eye out in Volume 4 or 5. Anyway, Marmot Maiden's coming back. I'll just spoil it.
We put her on the iconic comics box, like front and center. So I think that's kind of a like, it's not a spoiler. I think it's kind of, we made that clear that we're bringing her back.
Yeah, I mean, people seem to really like the character. Plus, we found a way to work them into our next story arc that makes a lot of sense. That one's going to be a lot of fun. No one minds seeing Marmot Maiden. I like the fact that she communicates, or she has like groundhogs and marmots. I love marmots. They're so cool.
Because they're round. You like them because they're round and fat and pudgy.
Do y'all follow Chunk the Groundhog on Facebook? Just follow Chunk the Groundhog. It'll just make your day. It's this guy who has a garden, and he just sets up a stationary motion activated camera, and you can just see these like fat groundhogs eating food. And he set up a picnic table for them, so they'll actually eat at the picnic table. You just can't have a bad day if you're looking at that video.
They all
it's so great.
Chew and chomp so loud. They're just like in front of the camera.
They burp like humans. That's the most astounding thing. Like there's a video where he's just eating in front of the camera, and he just belches in front of it, like, and you're just like, holy cow, it just happened. That's crazy. Thomas Roylip, that's cool. At 400 is a small batch. It's pretty successful just based on those numbers. Oh, don't get me wrong, we're grateful. I mean, obviously there were the days where we were getting like 200 backers, and even then we were happy because any readership that we have is good. Anyone who's reading our stuff, we appreciate. It's not really about the numbers, it's just the fact that people are looking. The fact of the matter is that Mark and I honestly would probably do this as a hobby, even if money weren't involved. But obviously, it does pay to get paid. It's kind of a redundancy, but you know what I mean. Kind of getting paid to do a hobby is good.
Yeah, we still have our day jobs, and this just kind of like gives us little money on the side. But just the fact that people like it's kind of an honor that people like our work enough to pay for it. Like, oh, that feels really good.
Dave's Arc says, thanks for the answer. Can we get the measurements of the Common Core in future comics? All I can say is this. So Carly and Misha are roughly the same size. Kimiko is small. If you're looking at, I'm not going to go into detail because that's not anyone's business. But as far as like other measurements are concerned, I don't know what to tell you. Weight, they're fit for their heights, I guess.
That's even more secret than measurement. You don't say a lady's weight.
The most physically fit on the team is Misha, because she was a former mercenary, so she stays pretty physically active. Not just that, but she has to consume a lot of food for her to keep up her
burning calories.
Yeah, burning calories and stuff. So she consumes a lot of food. Kimiko drinks a lot of water. Carly, she summons electricity from clouds in the sky. So I guess it's like, well, she has to make sure it's kind of like a nice day outside, or at least a partly cloudy day for that to work. And
she's solar powered. Something like that.
She's not solar powered.
No, not solar powered. We got to come up with something. We got to come up with blood types for them. Have you ever noticed that every time there's a profile that's from like a Japanese source material, like a video game manual for Street Fighter or whatever, they always have the blood type in the list of vital data.
Yeah.
It's because the Japanese have this like weird, it's like a horoscope superstition that your blood type determines your personality type. So that's why they always include blood types in their vital statistics and write-ups and bios on people.
I also noticed that they also give birthdays.
Yeah, they do. And it's weird. That's why Chun-Li is like 45 now, isn't she?
I should give a no prize to whoever can tell me what Carly's birthday is. Hint, we did say what it is, but you had to have bought something very particular to know it, because on that item are a list of birthdays. So Carly's birthday is actually out there. So no prize to whoever can tell me what it is. I don't even think Mark knows. Oh, Mark, you don't know because you don't have this item yet.
Yeah, you didn't give me one.
I haven't sent it to you yet. Do you live far from Doug Ernst? I live very far. I am between Texas and Arkansas, and he lives in Reno, Nevada. So that's quite far. But from what I hear, he might be coming down here in August. So that'll be fun. He's been here before, and I've been over there to Reno, and it's always a good time. Now that I think about it, Marmot Maiden kind of makes sense in both the context of Kamen America and Black Ops.
Maybe, yes.
Plot thickens. Cheyenne says October 14th because that's my birthday. No, unfortunately, it's not October 14th. But good guess, though. You guys introduced me to the Regal Majesty as a capybara. I have very unusual taste in animals. And that was not a joke about eating capybaras, because I think they actually do that in some South
horrible
American
monster country. I've ever since you included capybaras as Carly's pet, I've started following a bunch of capybara accounts, and now I'm infatuated with them because they're just
chill.
They're so chill. They're like really good dogs. They're all good boys.
They hang out with caimans. What are they called? Are they called caimans? They look like alligators.
Yeah, the smaller alligator things. Yeah, and they're just like totally cool with each other. They hang out with turtles. They hang out with dogs. The only problem with them is that they have to poop in water, so you need to give them their own swimming pool.
They poop in water. They mate in water. You have to bathe them. They have separation anxiety. So once they're a member of your family, you can't leave them alone, or they go berserk and they like break out trying to find you. But you can just watch videos on YouTube of people, like I think it is in South America. They just wander around kind of like deer here in the South, and people will just go up to a random capybara and start petting its belly, and they'll just flop over and let you do it. They're just really cool. So I was watching these videos of people who own capybaras as pets. And honestly, when we were doing Kamen America, I was like, I just wanted an excuse to have a pet capybara that we can draw, or I can draw. So that's why we have Badger in there, who, by the way, it's an homage to Mike Barron, because his character's name is the Badger. Do any of the other Common Core characters like hamburgers, or just Carly? Yes, Misha likes hamburgers. Kimiko does not. But Kimiko is up to trying new things, but she's not a huge fan of them.
So for reference, Kimiko is the youngest of the Common Core. She's she's fresh out of high school. That's why she's trying to get into her college entrance exams right now. So she's around like 19 years old. Wow, what's Carly and Misha? Carly's like what, 22, something like that.
Carly is not 22. I think she's barely 21.
20. Okay.
We haven't established that because she doesn't drink. So in my mind, she's teetering in there, but it's also like a non-issue. It's like, it doesn't matter if she's 20 or 21. She doesn't consume alcohol. Misha does. She drinks like a fish. And I think she's actually the oldest. I think she's 24. Did the Punchline crossover ever happen? And was it canon? It has not happened yet. I think Brian Ball is still working on the script for that one. It's in the second Walmart from the Walmart trilogy. I don't know what that was referring to. I completely forgot. The Bunderdome, static electricity builds the air from changing weather patterns, wind, and the light. The problem with Carly, though, is that it's kind of like charging a car battery. You can't just do it incrementally. You have to have a voltage that's strong enough to jumpstart it. And that's why she has to rely on basically the ionosphere for hers. And just like everyone else, her abilities last for only a certain number of hours. A good question I got was, can she just keep on jump starting it? It actually lasts for 3 hours in a straight duration. So we'll have to, I don't want to say anything because we're gonna use that as a plot device later on. But I like that people are thinking about it. The Walmart Omnibus has Warhen's measurements. Is it different from Kamen America? Because it's kind of
about that.
Yeah, it's canon, non-canon. It's basically how you interpret it. You'll also notice that it says her birthplace is in Boston, Massachusetts. So here's the way that we're doing the soft retcon: is that the Walmart 2 book is actually propaganda put out by Lansky and Schultz, and so the bio in there is reflective.
Because her origin is all different in that
correct.
Bio. Yeah,
right. And so it's kind of it's meta in the sense that Walmart 2 is an in-universe book that exists, explaining her origin and recapping the events of what happened. So you take it with a grain of salt. It's as real as you want it to be in that universe.
Because remember in the Wanpool crossover, she says she can't sew.
Exactly.
That's how early it was in her development that we wrote that stuff.
Yeah. Because what happened was, and we've told this story before, the character was just really popular. I put out that tweet. I was like, oh, there's a character, Warhen. She's gonna be in Walmart 2. I think that was my most retweeted tweet that year. I was like, dang, people like this character. Okay. We had no interest in drawing or writing female characters at all, but we were like, hey, maybe there's something to this. So that's kind of the summary of how that happened. Don't the Japanese include from conception in their age? I don't know. Is that true, Mark?
No, I mean there has to be a sort of like international standard for counting ages and years. I think I've heard that China does that, and who knows what North Korea does. But yeah, I've heard that's. I think Tim, it might have even been like your dad told me that China starts like year 1 is your day of birth. I don't know if that's true or not though.
Yeah, I don't know either. Lansky did make her an orphan, even though she's not in real life. Lansky is a piece of crap.
You just create your own character and you hate them.
Well, he's meant to be despicable.
Yeah.
And he's meant to be a reflection of corporate culture. I mean, there's one thing that Mark and I rail on, and we just hate it, which is this idea of anything done in committee, where it's like, oh, do this because this sells, this is popular, this is what you do. It's like, no, that's kind of disgusting. So Lansky kind of embodies everything we hate about the influence of that kind of corporate stepping on eggshells mentality and its influence on the arts. Like, we just despise it. Now, don't get me wrong. There are times when you do have a work that is run by a corporation come out and it's actually genuinely good. But I think it's because they leave it out of those boardrooms and they make sure to get a cadre of people who work on it, who are of like mind, and they put the artistic nature of it first before anything that's like, oh, well, we have to have this quota filled. Oh, and I think that this will sell more toys. It's like, no, the way that we've always seen it is this. The toys will sell if it's good. And you might point to something like Ninja Turtles, where it's like, no, it's because kids are dumb and they want like these stupid plastic turtles. No, we bought those toys because the cartoon was hella entertaining. And so we got it. And proof of that is look at these other toys that came out, like all those knockoffs, like Biker Mice from Mars. Don't get me wrong. If you like it, that's fine. But there's a reason why those did not hit quite as hard as its progenitors did. And it's because it's not just a formula. You have to have something there to entice people to want that type of thing. So we're just of the opinion that, hey, if the story is good, if it resonates with people and they want the merchandise, they'll ask for it, they'll get it. Whereas, for example, like we like Black Ops, you know, it's considered our primary property, but the reality is that it doesn't have the same appeal as Kamen America does. But that's okay. We don't have to. I don't feel like we have to compromise any of that to cater to an audience per se. It is what it is. You either like it or you don't.
Oh, he also says the Ed 209 scene in RoboCop came from a writer sitting in a corporate meeting and wishing a robot would come in and just shoot everyone. Like, I don't know if that's bullshit, but I believe it.
It's so funny because Mark didn't watch RoboCop until I made him watch it when we were adults. I was like, you ever see RoboCop? And he's like, no, that's stupid. Why would I watch that? I'm like, dude, go and buy it right now and watch it. And I guarantee you, if you don't like it, I'll just PayPal you money right now.
I had spent my whole life thinking it was a kid's movie because when I was a kid, I remember there being the RoboCop toy line and cartoon, so I assumed that the movie was a kid's movie, so I always just wrote it off and never paid any mind to it. And then when you asked me that was like back in like 2005. You say, hey, Mark, you ever see, and I was 20, like, Mark, you ever see RoboCop? Like, what? No, that's a kid's movie. And like, it's not a kid's movie, it's rated R. Check it out immediately. And I did, and I was like, oh, where has this movie been all my life?
Yeah, it's so great. RoboCop is definitely like top 10 favorite movies of all time. But it was funny though, when I was a kid, so my dad, I think it's because he didn't want to babysit, he was like, all right, kid, you're gonna watch RoboCop. Oh, by the way, you might see like blood in it. It's all ketchup. So I remember as a kid, that scene where Kenny gets blown away by Ed 209, it didn't bother me. I just thought it was silly. It wasn't until later that I rewatched it and I thought, oh, it is disgusting. And I think it was by then I had a little bit firmer grasp of mortality and whatnot. But I mean, that guy just gets butchered in that opening scene. Lotus Petal, he always has been such a jerk, especially after what happened in Volume 3. I hope we see him get poetic corporate justice. We have plans for him. I think he's going to stick around for a while. He's based on, he's kind of an amalgamation of a lot of different situations, people, and things that we've been around. And because of that, I think he's a firm representation of something that you can't just beat with fists. And sometimes you can't beat him at all. Sometimes you have to win by just doing your own thing. And I think the reason why we want to keep him around is because he can present a moral foible to the principal cast without being a direct threat that can just be beaten in fisticuffs. But anyway, he is a very despicable, loathsome character. Yeah, that's what I'll say about that. My favorite scene in RoboCop is where he shoots 50 guys into junk in a row. I think have I seen that clip? There's a clip on, was it College Humor that did it? Where it's just RoboCop just shooting people in the nuts. Like, that's all he does.
I think so, yeah. I saw that a long time ago if it was College Humor. But yeah, it's just a clip of him. Every time he shoots his gun, it's a reaction shot of someone getting shot in the dick.
Thomas Royler says that RoboCop scene is kind of comedic because all these businessmen expecting a giant murder bot to simply work. No, the funniest part about it, the part that gets me every time, is after it's done, someone goes, "Can someone call a medic?"
He's like eviscerated. Dead. He's just liquefied. And then, call a doctor.
Call a doctor. It's like, the guy's dead. Kenny is not coming back. Like, you might as well take his pulse while you're at it.
You know what's like? It's a good movie. I don't know. It's a good bad movie. Like RoboCop 2 doesn't come together the way RoboCop 1 did, and it's not. It's a distant level of quality from RoboCop 1, but there's a lot in RoboCop 2 I like, and my favorite part of RoboCop 2 is when they're OCP. They're watching like the supercut of all the failed RoboCop 2s, and they have that one RoboCop 2 that just steps out the doors, shoots everybody in the room, screams, and rips his own head off.
It's so great. Now, okay, so I've only seen RoboCop 2 a handful of times, but I do have the movie adaptation, the comic. I don't remember if the scene is in the movie, but it's definitely in the comic, and I think it's definitely in the original script. They try to explain why is it that the RoboCop 2 people, the participants, why do they fail where Alex Murphy succeeded? And there's a part where they're like, I don't understand. Like these recruits and candidates we had were all good. The only thing separating them from Alex Murphy was he was like a practicing Roman Catholic and a family man. And that part always got to me because it was like, it didn't matter how good you were on paper. It was the idea that Alex Murphy had a soul and that it was his morality that made him continue living despite the fact that he was like this abomination, essentially. I always appreciated that in the comic adaptation because I was like, that was actually kind of neat that they put that in there because they could have just gone with, hey, we're on RoboCop 2. Let's make some bucks here. I know what the people want. They want humor and they want people getting blown apart. And it's like, no, there was someone in that script who thought we have to put this human element in there because that was one of the things that made RoboCop such a good movie. Yes, it was a parody and it was a satire on modern 80s action movies, but a lot of people forget that there was a dramatic element in there as well.
Ethereal Dragon cleared up that the Japanese do count gestation for age. And it was a little further up, but another person mentioned that it's, here it is, South Koreans count from year 1. So there we go.
There's a kid drug dealer in it, and his name was, if I'm not mistaken, I think it was Hobb was the kid's name. I remember thinking, wow, that was
right.
Weird.
Yeah, and it had Tom Noonan as Kane, or yeah, it was Kane, right? The guy who gets turned into RoboCop 2.
Yeah, Kane.
Yeah. He turns into like a big stop motion effect at the end, which is ridiculous. And then there's RoboCop 3 where he gets a jetpack and fights a ninja.
I like RoboCop 3.
That one was so made by committee. It's almost like I don't know what to think of that movie. It's a bad movie.
RoboCop 3 is what you thought RoboCop 1 was going to be.
It's exactly what I thought RoboCop 1 was. I don't know if it met my expectations and I should hate it for that or what. But yeah, RoboCop 3 is, I don't know. I've seen worse RoboCop stuff. Like you never try to watch like
RoboCop the series sucks.
Oh, the live action series? Yeah, like there's 2 of them and they're both awful. So yeah, RoboCop 3 is better than those.
And RoboCop Alpha Command sucks too.
Where that was the one where he's like Inspector Gadget. He's
yeah,
like,
I think there's a part where he actually like dispenses toilet paper out of his wrist.
He has like I bet you he has like a little helicopter hat that he wears that comes out of his helmet. That one was terrible.
I think the reason I like RoboCop 3 so much is it's kind of like it's almost like a meta commentary on Yes, like eventually even corporations sell out. Even the corporations that make these movies that are supposed to be like parodying this stuff. I was like, I don't know. The whole time I was just in stitches. I think it's kind of a funny movie. Let's see here. Thanks for offering international order. Thank you so much. I realize how crazy expensive it is at the moment. Yes, if there was a way that we could keep those shipping costs down, believe me, we would definitely offer it to more countries and not be so hesitant about it. I came into the stream late and may have misheard you. Did I hear mention of Black Ops 4? Yes, Kamen America, the Black Ops Kamen America crossover is technically Volume 4 of Black Ops. That's why it's going to be labeled as 4 when the book is printed.
That's why Black Ops comes first in the titling. It's Black Ops X.
That's right. I've had some people reach out to me and they're like, you should rename it as Kamen America X Black Ops. And I'm like, no, can't, because it's technically the 4th volume of the Black Ops title. And also the length too. The Black Ops books only come out once a year, so they're longer by about 8 pages. So we have that little bit of consistency going. Plus, it follows the main villains from Black Ops, even though Vermilion Masquerade joins them. The key plot involves the key antagonists of the Black Ops series. I barely remember the RoboCop cartoon, but one line that always stuck with me because it's funny. When his partner gets hurt, he says, "She's dead or dying, I can't tell."
The RoboCop cartoon has the funniest series finale. In the last episode, Clarence Boddicker comes back, and there's no explanation. He's just back. Like, everybody, Clarence Boddicker's back. You mean the guy RoboCop stabbed in the neck and left bleeding out in a puddle? He's just back, and he has a helicopter.
He got better. They did what they did with Kenny. They just called the ambulance.
Yeah, right.
I thought so. It was funny because when I was a kid, I assumed everything was canon. Everything, including video games. So I didn't think twice about it. When Clarence Boddicker came back, I was just like, oh, he got better. That's cool, you know, it's awesome. And then RoboCop's like, I gotta kill this mofo. And then like the ending is like, oh, killing is wrong. I'm like, oh my gosh, RoboCop, come on. Did you just try to kill this guy in the movie? Like, you stabbed him in the jugular with that data spike? Come on.
That's the episode where he gets the Robocopter.
Is that the one where he gets the Robocopter?
It's where he gets the Robocopter. That's how they ended the series.
So dumb. It's great. Anyway, we're here at an hour, and unless there's any last minute questions, we just want to say really quick thank you as well. We say that every time we run one of these campaigns because it's the truth. We like that you guys like our work, and we're working as hard as we can to put more content out there. I think some of you might have heard from the Doug Ernst stream. I do have health problems. I'm really appreciative of all the people who contacted me and said they were praying for me. It's gotten better. So, and it's not, I don't think it's not terminal. It's not like cancer or anything like that. But I have had to cut back on my drawing time. So I'm trying to take a little more time for leisure. But I don't think it's impacting the speed at which we're putting stuff out. We're still looking at 3 books a year, at least for the foreseeable future. I mean, that might change with time. But I just want to take the opportunity for all the well wishes and the people who support us. It's always appreciated. This is the last call for Kamen America 3. So make sure you back on Indiegogo. You have less than 14 days as of today. It will end on midnight, I think April let me look that up
13th.
Real quick.
So
midnight April 13th, right?
Yep.
Yeah. So make sure you pick up your copy, because whatever we have after this, which won't be much, it'll be probably like 50 copies of each book. They're going to sell on Iconic Comics, and they're going to raise the price for the, I guess, 3rd and final run. And then if you miss out on that, we will have the omnibus that's going to be out in the fall. But I know some people who've been backing every book, you won't have to spend money on the omnibus. You just have to buy volume 4 once it comes out. So you'll save yourself a lot of money by doing that. Take care, Tim. Your health is important. I hope all goes well. I am doing great. I told Mark before the stream, I go to the doctor 3 times a week for basically like rehabilitation. So I'm feeling a lot better. Definitely better than I was, let's say, 3 weeks ago. So everything is good.
I also told Tim that if he dies, I can't find another artist, so don't die.
I actually told Mark who I want as the artist to take over in case something happens to me. And he's good. Like, he's really good.
He is good. Yes.
I hope he's not listening, because he might try to get rid of me so that he can take over.
No, I'm gonna have to like guilt trip him after you croak into taking over. Like, well, Tim's dead, like, and he chose you. Will you honor his memory? And basically put him on the spot so he has to do it.
Yeah, exactly. But no, I'm feeling great. Like I said, I'm at a doctor 3 times a week, and I'm getting like a lot of rehabilitation. I mean, part of it was gastric. That was not fun at all. I think some people kind of knew. I'll tell like one bit of it was I was having like persistent ulcers from stress, and basically like drawing a lot and not getting enough sleep. So that was part of it, but there's a physical component to it too. But I'm getting a lot better. So just want to say thank you to everyone who's listening. Anyway, we will try and keep you guys updated as much as possible. You have 13 more days. And then in May, we launch Black Ops X Kamen America. And right now we're looking at August for the conclusion of the Kamen America, the first Kamen America saga with Volume 4. And I'm going to start working on that here in the next 12 days, I think. Before he died, Tim said he wanted you to work for free and also not take any royalties.
It was his last wish. Will you please honor it? Yeah.
That's right. Before I go, if you guys want to have a good time and support, well, some of you I know have HBO Max, but if you want to see something really cool in IMAX, go watch Godzilla versus Kong. Just treat yourself. It was so good. I'm really, really happy for a movie that just basically entertains me and doesn't preach to me at all.
I can't wait to see it. I'm seeing it on Saturday. I can't wait. So.
Yep, absolutely. All right. Have a good night, everyone. We'll keep you informed. Follow us on social media. See ya.
See ya.